But be mad at it.
Um,
Isn't it much easier to raise young boys than it is to fix broken men? Because
no
the ones
question,
who
no
are
question
out
whatsoever.
here,
No
the
question.
the ones who are out here doing that are far too gone. Like you can't
Yeah,
like those individuals needed an intervention like probably 10, 15, 16
yeah,
years before.
yeah,
Right now
no
they're
doubt.
just way too deep. They
Like,
like
I think
So,
that's what Jay
so,
Stanley
so,
was
so, so,
saying.
so, so, Louise, to answer that, like
and
most of
that's
the
the one that
mentorship,
Dr. Umar Johnson is talking about. That
right?
those are the individuals that we might need to put down in order to take back the community. That's
Exactly.
really what it is.
They're the ones that are a little wild. They're the ones that's already too far gone. Bat, bat,
And
bat,
that
bat. They already
and
out
that's
there.
what
But that's where most of the mentorship that I've done, and some of my other brothers have done too, is mostly through sports.
y'all got to stop saying that black boys don't want to go to these programs. I got to keep saying this. I've had a 20-year career of black boys coming to these programs. Once again, those from Chicago will know 40th and King Drive. There's a big church right there on the right side. That's where my program was from. What was that? My after school program. The things that drew them in, drew them in. We helped them get to college. We helped them get out of high school. We did truancy intervention. We had cooks that cooked fresh food every single day. We had a basketball court in there. We picked them up right from Phillips. Anybody from Chicago know Phillips, right on 39. We had vans. We picked them up from Phillips. We brought them there. We dropped them off at the end of the day. What I'm trying to say is your job as a community builder is to install the things that make them want to come. I don't have the luxury of saying they don't come. My job is to figure out what will make them come. So everything with me is strength based. And I hear a lot of people up here that are not strength based. I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm just passionate about this because I do this and I feel like it's being mischaracterized. It
Oh
has to be
shit,
strength.
bro! Like that's
What
what you
things
need to
work.
be doing.
You know what I'm saying? I really do think I would benefit from really doing research on the outcomes, the measurable outcomes that are out there that are evidence based that show what actually works. I can tell you, but it's literally out there.
So
The other thing, um, fuck, I forgot the other thing.
Sean, I got
But
a question for
Hey,
you.
Sean, I'm going to address you. Real quick, Sean. First off, you being on the front lines and doing what you've been doing for the past 20 years, I just want to commend you real quick because I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like the heart you must have in order to do that work for as long as you have, and to try to be innovative and to continue to be creative and find new ideas to get those kids in there is amazing. I just want to say that first and foremost.
In the meantime, he's fucking all the baby mamas.
Right, yeah.
Nah,
Well,
he don't get in the
on the
programs because
second,
he be smashing their mamas. Sean be getting that pussy.
not a
Getting that
single
Chicago-
one. Never. Not a single
Shane,
one.
you out of order, man. You out of order. But the second thing is that I think you are talking shit. You talking shit. You definitely talking shit. But you got some shit to talk, but you talking shit. I'll say this. You're in a different place in these kids' development and kind of where they are, where you're helping and assisting. You're assisting kids that it sounds like you're assisting kids that have been through shit. That been in the streets, that's done dirt, that's done detention centers, all that kind of stuff.
Rehabilitation and corrective
right,
programs.
exactly. And more so where I was coming from, where I was rooted from, is kids that are kind of starting fresh, because it kind of like Dr. Umar was saying when he was talking about throw some of them kids away. That's where he was getting at on that. I don't believe you should just throw them away. I'm not going to use that verbiage for me, but I get what he was trying to say. Where I was coming from when you build your families and as your kids grow, they're gonna have friends too. Kids that are like-minded, kids that are on their stuff. All that stuff is infectious. And every Black community is not a war zone. I need to say this shit. Every Black community is not the hood. Every Black community is not the war zone. There are plenty of Black communities that are suburban. There are plenty of Black communities that are peaceful, that is not gunshots every 5 minutes. It's not Chirac. It's not other places like that. That's just, you got your rags out. You got your GD. Every place isn't like that. And I'm not saying that to ignore the places that are, because that's some real ass shit. But that's not my life. I didn't grow up that way. And I'm not going to pretend like I know all about that shit, because I don't. I didn't have crack in my drawers. I didn't hide. That's not my life. But
you went in Cabrini Greens and shit.
I wasn't in Cabrini Green. I wasn't in the mirror. I wasn't saying certain names in the mirror. None of that. I ain't do none of that.
But be mad at it. Isn't it much easier to raise young boys than it is to fix broken men? Because the ones who are out here, the ones who are out here doing that are far too gone. Like you can't, like those individuals needed an intervention like probably 10, 15, 16 years before.
Yeah.
Right now they're just way too deep. They, like
so Luis, to answer that, like most of the mentorship,
Dr. Umar Johnson is talking about, that those are the individuals that we might need to put down in order to take back the community. That is exactly what it is.
They're the ones that are a little wild. They're the ones that's already too far gone. They already out there. But that's where most of the mentorship that I've done, and some of my other brothers have done too, is mostly through sports. Coaching camps, doing all the stuff in the summertime and whatnot, like mentoring kids that way. You know what I'm saying? Mentoring kids, showing them entrepreneurship and that type of stuff. I mean, kids that come to you and say, I want to learn, or I look up to you already, or, you've already had success in this area. I want to know more, So there's a reason why, like you were saying earlier, the sixth grade boys were acting up way more than the seventh grade boys were. You know what I'm saying? That whole attachment of, I can be a part of a team, I can be a part of something that's bigger than me, is huge. Doing something with your boys that doesn't get you in trouble, that's fun, that gets you shine too, that the girls like you more for it too, is big. And that attitude does straighten up. They're going to do what the coach tells them to do because they want to get playing time. They want to shine. They want to show that they can run for 100 yards. They want to show that they can catch footballs. They want to show that they fast and strong. They want to show that, basketball, all that stuff, track. They want to shine. They want to show that I'm special too, and I matter too. That's what these young brothers really want to say and get out there.
Sean, I got a question for you really quick.
All right, we're going to have that question. We got to move on to the meat of the conversation. Go ahead, Sweet.
Right. So I am not in disagreement that you said that your programs work. I believe that they do. My only question is, because you said black boys want to be a part of these programs, what percentage of the black boys in your community actually do the programs if black boys want to do the programs?
I couldn't quantify that. I don't like to try to, I think we get on here too much and be like, oh, 87% of this and that. I think it's bullshit because most of the shit that people on YouTube try to quantify is unquantifiable.
I mean, I think it's
a way of quantifying that.
I think it is easy. You can look at the number of boys you tend to have in your program and you know that how many kids exist in that neighborhood that's going through whatever they're going through. That's not a hard number to come up with.
He did speak on the Sweeney. Like, for instance, like Sean's a member of Alpha Phi Alpha, and they have something called, I think it's called go to high school, go to college. They have go to high school, go to college. They have Project Alpha. So, and we have Kappa League and the Sigmas have Sigma Beta. The thing is, if the programs are boring, ain't nobody signing up. And a lot of times we're already business minded, college minded, and whatnot. And we ain't out there hooping or playing rap music and doing all the fun shit. We ain't going to drive, K1 go-karts and all that kind of stuff that the kids want. So then they don't even want to come to those.
Come on.
So it's boring programs. It's boring programs, but they're there. They're boring programs. And then if we try to go out, at least in the Kappa League, if we try to go out and recruit motherfuckers, the parents is looking at us like, nah, I'm good.
No, that's the point I was actually speaking to, is that while it may be true that you have boys, there's a lot of, I get it. There's some, when you got the boys in your program, the ones that are enthusiastic about it, going to show up and they're going to do well, but that's because they're already enthusiastic about the program itself. The problem is that you can't get any other boys in because, like y'all just said, don't nobody rock with it. The parents don't want to do it. The parents ain't even influencing their kids to do it. But again, who does that fall on? That fall on the parents that raised them.
Come on.
That's what I'm saying is, you asked the question about what percentage of the kids in the community. That wouldn't even be something that would even matter, because all of the kids in the community are not a problem. if my target population are kids that are, so I'll give you an example. The other thing I was trying to say, and JR will know this because he's from Chicago. One of my programs in Woodlawn was we got 100. This was stimulus money from Obama. So when y'all say Obama didn't do shit, I get mad every time because we got millions of dollars from him. One of my programs, we got 100 kids that are on the truancy list, the most at-risk school kids at Hyde Park High School, which is where King Von and all them went. And so the grant was for 100 kids. We ended up with over 150. The goal was we had a drop-in center right next to the school on 63rd Street. The kids will come there to the drop-in center at facilities. We had crisis counselors. We had everything they wanted. We took them on college tours and everything. I got pictures and everything of all this. And so what we did, it was a holistic approach to all of it. And so they came every single day. But what we also did, I started doing things inside the school. So we ended up with an office inside the school. We did talent shows, fashion shows, and all. It had speakers and everything coming into the school too. So we got immersed into the community, the high school and in the community. And so long story short, if you build it right, they will come. You're not going to get everybody. You're not going to save everybody. But once again, what we're looking for is incremental progress. If you can save a few hundred lives, in the course of a year, that's great progress, especially if one of those lives could have potentially been your son. So,